So you want to start a supplement brand going into 2026 and you don't know where to start? I'm going to give you from experience 3 things that I would be looking for if I were to start a supplement brand all over again. Now, if I started my supplement brand in 2026, things would be a lot different. When I started in 2016, the industry was in a completely different space. If I were to do it again in 2026, I would focus heavily in these 3 specific areas. And I think this is going to be a great starting point for anybody who is, thinking about starting a sports nutrition brand. Maybe you want to get involved somehow, or you just don't know what to do with your own brand that you have right now. And I think this would be a helpful hint. So first and foremost, there's a huge uptick in the industry right now for cleaner labels. Cleaner labels meaning more minimalistic design, healthy call outs, things that people can identify and resonate with really quick. I think if your labels are too busy and they're too distracting, people might go with something a little bit simpler. I think it hits a wider scope of people. So you want to go with something on a little bit more on the minimalistic side. It still could be cool. Color scheme could be cool. Branding could still be cool, but your labels need to explain what your products do so that people can identify with it very quickly. At the same time, if there's any healthy benefits that might resonate with people, you want to get that out there. It could be gluten-free. It could be, no sodium. Maybe it has 0 sugar. Maybe you have a trademarked ingredient. Those things people are looking for right now, and they want to be able to see it right on the front. You don't want them to have to pick up the bottle and then, look around for it on the back. Don't hide it. Put it right on there. Let people know what you got. Keep it super simple. Keep it clean. If you could define the product and what it does within the name, I think that's always a big selling point, and it always helps out. It's beneficial. Second thing that I would do, I would focus on a direct-to-consumer model. I think right now when I started, I went with the wholesale model, but we're seeing a massive decrease in wholesale. We're seeing stores close all over the place. It is not recession-proof. It is not the economic it's not going to give you the economic growth that you need right off the start. You have to do a little bit of brand building first before you get into these stores. When I started, I came from a background in retail. So I thought, hey, I'm going to give these guys what they want. I know what they need. Boom. And that's where I started. And it was a lot more legwork that way. It was a lot more grassroots, guerrilla marketing, pounding the phones, visiting accounts, traveling. Now you don't have to do all that. You can do things on, e-com, build out your website. You could build out a following. There's multiple channels you could distribute from on your direct-to-consumer and your direct-to-consumer model. You could have, an Amazon. You could have a TikTok shop. TikTok shop basically caters to a younger audience. A lot of people are on there. And then, Amazon is just convenience of having something right there in your cart, and you could add it with anything else. Boom, no problem. So I would definitely make sure I'm on those platforms as well. But I would make the website my main hub, and that's where my main focus would be. You have control over your brand identity. You have control over your brand's messaging. You have, all your social proof on all your social platforms that are going to attract people to go to the nucleus, your website. And then you have control over the deals, the promotions, the calendars, the different cadence of the follow-ups and the things that you put out there. I think if I were to do this again in 2026, I'd be focused on I would be direct to consumer heavy. I'd focus on an ambassador program, building out ambassadors. Maybe, you go grab a big athlete, or you build a brand around somebody that has a big social platform, and you kind of work from there just to try to get things moving a little bit quicker. I think that would be the way to go with the current landscape of the industry right now. It's scary, watching a lot of stores close down. A lot of stores are holding back. They're dealing with all the economic downturn that we're dealing with. And, you're seeing just a lot of consolidation happening. And when you're direct to consumer, if you build out a really cool brand, people will still come. People will still buy from you. People will still shop from you. If you have to run some aggressive deals, you can run aggressive deals. If you want to get them clothing out there, there's just a lot more control and things that you can do with the brand like that. The other big thing I'm seeing, this is the third thing you want to look out for right now. Functional food market is on fire right now. It's almost like anything infused with protein. People are diving all over. Protein pretzels, protein popcorn, protein cereal, protein donuts, protein cookies, protein brownies. I mean, there's no means to an end on what you could put inside, of a grab and go snack infused with protein, and it seems to be doing exceptionally well right now. I talked to a friend recently, and they're on the verge of closing GNC, and one of the stipulations inside the contract and the agreement is that they want the brand to have to come out with some sort of functional food item, because people like your brand, they want more. Grab and go items are hot right now. We want to make sure you're going to give that to us. So I would look into that. That's definitely something you can get into. Some of the downside on that is it's probably going to take a little bit of time in R&D. Two, you need something unique. I wouldn't just do something just to do anything different than anybody else, but I would try to do something a little bit more unique, right? Like find your little niche of what you can do, what's missing in the market, do a lot of research. Got to taste good. Texture's got to be great. Probably going to be expensive to get started. Probably going to have to do decent sized runs. That's another downside. And the other big downside is low margins. So, and if you're completely cold to the industry and like you're brand new, you might not have the relationships to get some of that distribution out there. So it's going to be a little bit more of a grassroots grind, but a product that needs to be sold in volume. And, the margins are relatively small. But if you come out with the right product, it could be a runaway train and it could be off right out of the gate. I think that could be something, that could be really, really well. So yeah, those are the three things that I see right now. Clean, minimalistic labels, easy for people to resonate and identify with, know what the product does right from the start. Too busy is not I think it'll chase people away if they have to guess what the name of your product is and what it does. If it's too much going on, I've dealt with that in the past. Obviously that's what we're doing with some of the CondemnedLabz line right now. We're changing things up. We're making it a little bit cleaner. We're making it easy for people to see, hey, this is what it does. We're still a hardcore bodybuilding brand. At the end of the day, we're still selling to, hardcore, people who go in the gym and like punish themselves. That's the whole CondemnedLabz theme. We're not changing that up, but we're not letting our bottles restrict us from the customer knowing what our products do, right? We don't want to be limited in that department. The other thing, just to recap, functional food market's on fire. Come out with something really cool. Get in a bar, get in a snack, a beverage, a drink. Yeah, market might be a little saturated right now, but it's not that you can't make it in there. You can definitely, there's still a lot of room to make it in that game, I would say. Get yourself, some distribution and then get something out and then just, I would hammer it on social media. The other thing, direct to consumer model, Amazon, website, TikTok shop. Focus on those three things going into 2026. If you want to start a brand, think about them. Think about how you would want to implement it, manufacturing and things of that nature. And then that's where I think the market's heading in a strong, strong direction. And I think not, if you don't have anything else except that, those things, I think that if you were to start in a different way, it might be a little bit more challenging because the markets right now seem to be pretty full, but those markets seem to be on fire, and I think they'll do exceptionally well if they're done properly.